get this out of the way and just straight up say this.
Detected. Nearby location. Guarded
First,
by hostiles.
first off, um, Ubisoft, I love what you've done with the game and the amount of work and detail that you have put into this. This is amazing overall. Um, I mean, yeah, the texture's loaded a little different, a little time, but I can forgive that. I can overlook all of that stuff. The connection, the car doors that close. I mean, you modeled the interior of the car. You textured the interior of the car. Yeah, I mean, there's flowers growing through it, but you did a good job. All this stuff and looking at the environment is absolutely amazing. It is amazing to look at all this and see what you've done. The community for the Division 2, I can't thank you guys enough. Um, Specifically right now, Frog the God, I have like talked to you a couple times,
Hostiles. Guarding
and
location nearby.
you are an amazing person, and thank you for all your help. Um, I probably will tag you in this later to let you know that, even if you don't watch but 30 seconds of this. So, I'm not what you'd call a advocate YouTuber, gamer, or something like that. I'm not that kind of person. I occasionally game, and if I find something that I like to share, I share it. You know, I'm kind of like a real life person that likes to game with real people and make people laugh every now and then. I do something stupid, and that's kind of like my MO. Maybe I'll review a game, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll talk about some stuff, maybe I won't. But it's kind of like to build a community of people that are real people that talk about real things and enjoy real interactions and
Detected.
company.
Nearby location.
Separate, you
Guarded
know,
by
and
hostiles.
celebrate our diversity and things like that. That's kind of what I do. Now, all that stuff out of the way, I've been farming for the Lady Death for longer than I care to admit. I mean, I'm gonna have to admit it, but the drop rates in this game are ridiculous. And Ubisoft, it's kind of like I don't really like to complain, but this is at a point where I have to complain. I've been farming this particular weapon for over 2 weeks. And normally that wouldn't bother me, considering, you know, the hustle and bustle of life and the way things are going. But in the midst of a quarantine, 2 weeks have been kind of like work hours. I mean, literally, I've been putting in work hours,
Hostiles. Guarding location nearby.
and I think that's absurd. I really think that's absurd. I've looked up multiple different videos about how to do this thing. I've looked up, you know, forums. I've looked up Reddit. I've spent more time researching this than on a paper that I have done for a master's degree, and still no results. I've run this thing. As of last week, it was over 50 times. That's last week. So I guess you can tack on another 25. If the drop rate is 3%, where's your math coming from? Is it 3% of the overall gameplay of every overall game playing character or person or participant, or that you drop randomly 3% of that to the community? Is that what's happening? Because explain that to me. I mean, here I am. This is like my
Detected. Nearby location.
78th, 76th run of the same thing in the same area of the same different, like, if I've done over 70 and there's a 3% drop rate for me, just for me, then I should have two of them by now, right? Mathematically speaking, I should have two, but I don't. So I don't know what you're actually getting from punishing the player base or the community for playing the game. And don't tell me that that's not what you're doing. Don't tell me that that's not your intentions. Don't tell me that that's, you know, what's not happening. Because up until this new update, you did the exact same thing with the Negotiator's Dilemma set gear. You could not get the chest or the backpack, unless you played
Hostiles
in a
guarding
raid.
location nearby.
Well, you had to do the raid, but you couldn't matchmake the raid. You had to have 8 friends online at the same time, and you couldn't interact with people in a community which is thriving and very well. Trust me, I played like the Overwatch community, and 70% of them are toxic. On a good day. You might get 1, 2 lucky, but on a good day, they're toxic. And that's just the way that works. Offline, you know, maybe in person they're good people, but even on Facebook and some of the forums, they're toxic. So, you have a community here that is willing to help, willing to do things, willing to go together, and you kind of exclude them because they don't already have a clan together, or they don't already group up together, or they don't already. So we're like, we can't give you the loot, but you can run the mission in a discovery mission, which gives you nothing. You can't practice it with people. You can't rehearse it with people. So you punish them for being loyal to play the game, to do the things that you want them to do, unless they're already grouped up or unless they already have a plan. Same thing with the Lady Death and the exotic drops. You got to run in the group. You got to run this and that, and you get a chance to drop it for each other. It's annoying. You know, solo players or anything like that, it's annoying. It's inconsiderate, and it's at a point now to where like I actually have to say something about it because it's that ridiculous. So, fix it. Bottom line, fix it. I like your game. I enjoy playing your game. There are times where it makes me swear. I'm not gonna lie. The mechanics in it are broken. It's like this character has a mind of its own. Sometimes he wall jumps into cover in front of people when you want him to jump behind. Sometimes it's annoying. And it only happens, or seems to happen, when you really need him to not do it, to stay alive. But we'll forgive all that stuff. We'll forget all the loading textures. We'll forgive all the broken crap because you have a really, really great game at the core. You have a great principle at the core. You have a great sequence at the core. We'll forgive all of that. But the loot drops, it's ridiculous.
Detected.
The farming is ridiculous. The setup is ridiculous. People want to play a game to enjoy the game, not to run it into the ground because you want to hold on to whatever thread of shit that you have. Fix it. As I'm talking, I am actually farming and running the mission now to show you that I'm not going to get the drop. And like I said, this is like my 76th or 78th time. Who the fuck knows now? It's ridiculous. I've run this thing to the point that I have almost the entire New York map memorized. But for the sake of this video, I put on a waypoint so that I wouldn't get lost in case. Okay, so
Civilians in
here's
danger.
the reset. Let's do this.
I could do this.
Let's do this.
I'm sending out the drone.
No, don't send out no drone.
Rogue hive detected. System curtailed.
Target the flank.
Oh man.
System
Target
restored.
sent.
That's dope. do that. Don't do that.
I got you.
Don't do that.
Get around him.
Civilians in distress.
Don't do that.
From here.
Don't do that. Yeah, I knew that was coming. Here we go. I mean, the other problem is if I don't beat this guy, bet you're gonna flank me. Bet you're gonna try to flank me. If I don't beat this guy, then 30 minutes, I won't have a chance to do it again for 30 minutes. How did that not hit him? Don't do that.
Move up on their flank.
Civilians in danger.
Come on. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
System disrupted.
Flank the target.
Look like me.
System reactivated.
Yep. So, once again, didn't get anything. Once again. So, chalk it up to 77. Chalk it up to that.
Rogue hive detected.
Chalk it up to that. Oh, he got up. Somebody picked him up.
You can thank me later.
Yeah, I knew that was
Signs
coming.
critical.
Ruin's on his way.
Agent requesting backup.
I got no visual here.
Okay.
I'll get to you.
I don't know how I missed that dude.
Quit, big guy.
Is this dude flanking me?
Yeah. Watch out.
Serious trauma detected.
Yep. Okay, so not only did I get nothing, I got nothing several times. Several times. Now, I can't run another one for 30 minutes. So I'm being punished because your drop rate. because of your drop rate. I'm getting punished for playing the game that I actually enjoy.
Civilians in distress.
I'm getting punished. Because that's what it feels like. Oh, you didn't win. Come back again. Oh, you didn't win. Come back again. I really have no words. I really have no words, and I'm going to probably end it here. Ubisoft, fix this shit. Fix this shit.
Civilians in
We're past
danger.
the point of being cordial. All right.